Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Today I'll be showing you 10 tips on how to improve your edits. If you don't already follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at @edit_on_Funimate and on Funimate at edit. And you can subscribe to my YouTube if you enjoy this video and have learned anything new today. I hope you enjoy this video. So this first tip is very straightforward. It's just to make your edits on beat, and here's a really good example. This edit honestly really changed how I looked at editing, and since this edit, my edits have been on beat. Here it is.
We can do this thing together. Close your eyes and take my hand. We have something special, baby. Let's just take our chance.
So this next tip is really important. You just want to make sure you're using custom keyframes rather than the pre-made transitions Funimate already provides. You can be a lot more creative with custom keyframes, and Funimate are adding motion blur very soon and video layers, so you'll be able to be even more creative. So here's an example where I'm showing you a zoom in transition I've used in this edit. And as you can see, I've used shakes as well over here and slides, and it just makes your edit look a lot more appealing and a lot more video style and professional like. So this is really good if you want to move on to a more advanced program like After Effects or Video Star, as they use custom keyframes that are a lot more advanced in their programs. So this is good for anyone who's a beginner and wants to improve on their editing and move on to better softwares. And Funimate is adding more features, like I said before, such as motion blur, and it's good to get often a head start on how to use custom keyframes. So when motion blur does come out, your edits are ahead of everybody else's, and you get more recognized easily by Funimate. So this next tip I have is pay attention to small details. Now I see a lot of people and a lot of editors who make really great edits that could be 10 times better if they had just paid attention to detail and made their edit less choppy. Now I'm showing you an example of this. I add shadows behind almost everything that includes a split or is just like a Polaroid or a picture on top of another picture, so any layers. So as you can see, I've added layers behind these triangles that split, which is a Polaroid, and it just gives it more detail. The flash is on beat, and the shake is also really smooth. As you can see, the transition is a lot smoother than most people. And yeah, so just make sure you're making your splits, slides, zoom ins, and everything as smooth as possible. Make sure you pay attention to those details, because if you don't, it will be very noticeable to the audience that's viewing it, and the chances of you getting noticed will just reduce dramatically. So make sure you're being as careful when paying attention to detail as possible, so that your edits look just that much better. My next piece of advice is very crucial. Do not rush your editing. If it takes a week and you're working on one edit, make sure you take that week and you put in the time to perfect it. As you can see, I'm showing you an example of an edit which I have multiple privates for, and you've probably seen in my screen recordings of previous tutorials where I have so many privates of the same video, and I experiment with different transitions until I perfect them. And as you can see, I've experimented with some things that I wanted to implement, and yeah, just make sure you take your time, don't rush, no one's watching you, you know? My next tip is make sure you consult your friends or anybody who's a video star or After Effects editor or even another Funimate editor. And I always message my friend Ivan, and I ask him what I should change in my edits. I ask him, I feel like there's something off. Is there something I should change about this edit? And he always gives me great advice, and I always learn off it and improve my editing in the future. It's a really good piece of advice. Make sure you consult your friends when you're editing. Now this next piece of advice is really important. So when you're making your edits using custom animations, make sure you utilize slides, zoom ins, and rotate transitions, because I think this is the most effective way to make smooth transitions. Now these are very, very commonly used transitions for video star editors and After Effects editors, and I think it's good when you bring it to Funimate and you can make them as smooth as possible. Now you can just watch me make some slides, zoom ins, and rotates, and here's some footage for you to watch. Enjoy. Now this next piece of advice is really important. So I like to use PixArt to edit my pictures. So this advice is make sure you edit your pictures before using them in your edits. Now, my number one advice for this is experiment with the effects in PixArt. I always play around with the color effects and make sure I get something which really suits the aesthetic of my video, which I will be getting to later and giving you advice on that as well. Here, I just make the background gray and I use the rubbing out tool and the restore tool to just see what I can do with it. And then I'm pretty sure I head to the brushes section, which adds really cool effects. And I add a heart effect in the background and I make them pink, so I'm going for a more pink theme if you want to do something like that, whatever color you wish. And yeah, adding a theme is just 10 times better for your edit, and making something that is more appealing is always going to be better to your audience. And by doing this, I think editing your photos is a crucial step in making your edits improved over time. My next piece of advice is the reason why I've grown in my editing. Do not be scared to experiment. Now, Funimate just came out with video layers on the beta testing app, which video layers will be coming out soon. And I've already experimented and made some really cool transitions, and so has App Edits by Leave on Funimate. So just experiment. Don't be scared to try new transitions and different things. I'm sure you'll come up with something creative. So this is a really important piece of advice. So recently I mentioned themes. So when you're making themes, you want to make sure everything is matching that. So not just the pictures like I spoke about before. As you can see, all the elements in this video are matching. The overlay, the lines, the text, and the eyes on Lauren's face. And also the sliding line that goes in between the split. Everything is in theme. So you want to make sure you keep everything really coherent, and your edit will turn out just that much better. Similarly, you also really want to find your own style, which is very recognizable. Now, people like me, Ivan, Leave, Adora, and Leah have found styles. By the way, they're all Funimate editors, which you should definitely check out, have all found our own style, and people can recognize us by that. If you can find your own style that people are able to instantly recognize, you will just get a lot more recognition on Funimate and on Instagram, YouTube, and other social media platforms if you wish to grow in that way. If you don't wish to grow, it's always good to have your own style and find what matches you and what you are, and reflect how you feel in your edits about editing. Like I like more of the warmer tones. If you notice, a lot of my edits have an orange and yellow theme, or like a dark purple theme. So go for whatever colors you like most, edit whoever you like most. I usually like editing Lauren, and make sure people are able to recognize your edits. And also don't be afraid to experiment, but also keep within your style. Don't hover too far away from your style to the point where people can't recognize your editing. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned some tips on how to improve your editing and grow a larger platform, maybe on any social medias you use to express your editing. If you don't already, subscribe to my channel and like this video. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Funimate. My Instagram is @edit on Funimate, and my Funimate is just @edit. Anyway, I hope you learned something new again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.